Today's video is a crash course on how to take Insta360 X3 footage and edit it in their app and export it very quickly. If you haven't already, check out my previous tutorials on the Insta360 Studio, which was meant for either your PC or Mac computers. So let's turn on the X3 and connect it via the app. Once the app has loaded, press on the yellow connectivity icon at the bottom of the screen. Next, select your camera and press on Join so it can connect to the camera's Wi-Fi. Once connected, go to your album at the bottom. You'll see that I recorded 2 clips. Both were shot in 360 mode. I'm going to press on one of the clips, lower the volume here, and if you use your thumb or any other finger, you can scroll through the frame to any angle you want, basically. Tap on the screen to pause it. First, we have the trim tool. Once selected, you can trim any part of the clip that you want simply by dragging the white handles on either end of the clip. You can also create a jump cut by tapping on jump cut and add a jump cut wherever you want simply by dragging those handles again. Then you can tap on the check mark or the X button to save or discard your changes. Now you have to decide whether or not you want to export this in vertical or in widescreen format, depending on which social media or platform you plan on sharing this video. I'm going to keep it at 9:16, which is the vertical format. If you want to change it, press on the aspect ratio option at the bottom here. You can change it just by tapping around. I'm going to go back to vertical. Next, you can use the timeline bar at the bottom to scrub through the footage. You can constantly reposition the framing any way you want. There are 2 different ways on how you can reframe this video. By 1, adding keyframes, or 2, by using Insta360's deep track function. We'll cover both. Keyframes are set points where the frame will change. So for example, if I press on the yellow plus button at the bottom, it'll create a keyframe, which means that it will start right at this frame. Then I can scrub through any other part of the clip and reposition the frame and add another keyframe. If I play back the footage, you'll see a little pan animation. You can always pause the clip and delete and reposition the keyframe. On top of that, you can also change the point of view from having it wide angle all the way up to medium or extreme close-up shots. To do that, you can either press on the POV option and go to tiny planet, ultra wide, wide, or linear, and even narrow. Or you can just use your 2 fingers to zoom in and out of the frame. So I'll have that as my starting keyframe. I'm going to scrub through, add another keyframe, zoom in, add another keyframe, and if I play back the footage, you'll see a slight pan and a slight zoom. Let's say you don't want to manually keyframe your shots. Find the part of the frame that you want to track, tap on the plus button, and use Insta360's deep track function. Just drag your finger over the subject you want to track, and then press on start tracking. It's really that simple. You can pause or stop the track at any time. If you're happy with the track, great. If you're not, just tap on the yellow area here, and you can tap on the trash can. And this will erase that track, and you can always redo it. Next, let's talk about Clarity Plus, which actually enhances the image and makes it slightly sharper with more detail. I usually like to use this feature. Color Plus makes your images more vivid. However, it also adds more artifacting and more noise to your shots, so I don't use this feature too often. You can also add your own custom music by either using Insta360's library, or you can extract it from any video. The speed option allows you to speed up the footage or slow it down at any point. Select your speed, for example, 1/4, then drag throughout the part of the clip that you want slowed down. Hit the check mark button, then you can select 4, drag, and it will speed up the footage there too. If you don't like any of those changes you've made, you can always hit the X button and discard those changes. Add motion blur whenever you're speeding up footage. It adds to that realism and makes things seem even smoother than they are. Next is the multi-view option, which allows you to see multiple angles on one screen. Here we just need to tap the plus button, scrub throughout the timeline that we want this multi-view to appear, hit the check mark button, Then we have multiple different options on which type of multi-angles that we can see or use. You can add the start points and end points to how you want the multi-views to look. Next is freeze frame, which will allow you to freeze any part of the frame and animate it. For example, I can set the start view, then I'm going to set the end view, and it will freeze the frame and automatically make a panning animation while the frame is frozen. Next is snapshot, where you can take any frame of the clip and save it directly to your phone. They work for this clip because I'm wearing a helmet, but once selected, you can adjust the tone or the tanness of your skin. You can brighten it, darken it, and you can make it glow and even reshape it to make yourself seem slimmer. So it's kind of cool. Wow, they even have a nose function here. Next, you can add an overall filter or color to the whole clip to make it more cinematic or just make it match your own style. You can constantly choose different ones, you can adjust their intensity, and it will really change the look of your footage. So you never really have to put this footage into your computer for quick edits. The Insta360 app works really well for those quick edits for social media. Next, you can go to the adjust option and manually adjust the exposure, color temperature, contrast, and saturation. Remember, I wouldn't go too intense on any of these options because you will start adding more artifacts and noise into the image. So only make minor adjustments. Next is the mark option, which will allow you to mark different parts of the timeline. So if you want to take some notes and revisit these edits later, you definitely can do so. And lastly is reset edits, which will just erase all the edits that you've made. And next we have delete and download, which is basically very straightforward. You can delete the clip and you can download the raw clip directly to your phone. On the top right, we have export. Here you can set your resolution, frame rate, and bit rate. I like to keep it at the highest resolution possible, which is 1080p, the frame rate that I shot it in, which is 30p, and the bit rate I like to leave at 50. You can also export this in 360 format. Because YouTube supports 360 video, this is a great tool to have without having to use another computer or anything like that. So you can do everything from your phone and directly upload it to YouTube that way. So once you're happy with that, press on export and it'll start exporting directly to your phone's library. You can always cancel the export while it's exporting and return to the edit. And I hope this quick crash course video helped you understand how easy it is to edit 360 footage within Insta360's app. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I hope this video has helped you out. If so, please give it a like and I'll see you in another one. Peace.